tell you something, I'm not sure what I'm playing here. The discussions actually off air are probably more better than actually going to air here. But that's human nature and wishes. Why am I playing such a song like this on a Friday morning? All right, we're breaking for the weekend, aren't we? There you go. And Friday here in Port Moresby, you can't be playing anything like this. Anyway, good morning to you all. Thank you to you, of course, for those of you following us on our discussions on the S1 FM 100 Talkback. You can follow us either on our Facebook page. You can also tune into the radio station here. We've got a Google Play that you can download as well and listen to the station almost anywhere, anytime, around the world. How about that? Anyway, my discussions for now are, of course, the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion. They've got a campaign that's going on at the moment. And as I mentioned in the last hour and the hour before, that I'll be having a panel here, including Salia Ranasinghe, who's the Executive Director for CEFI. Now, CEFI, of course, short for the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion. David Lee is also on the panel. He's the Chairman, CEFI Inclusive Insurance Working Group. And we're hoping that, of course, the big man from the Bank of PNG, Governor Lloyd Bakana, will join us. We're hoping when he does come, of course, we'll continue the discussion. But, gentlemen, good morning to the both of you. How are you both?
Yeah. Good morning. Yeah, good.
It's Douglas, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. You know, good to be here.
Yeah.
Talking to you this morning.
No worries. I know, Sally, you've been here once or twice. David, I don't quite remember having you on Talkback before.
No, this is my first experience having been invited into the studio or any studio.
Or into any radio station, for that matter.
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
Excellent. Now, thank you so much. Come along and let's get into this discussion.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm not sure how we can do this, but just probably set the base of our talk this morning. Maybe let's go again to maybe Sally, you might want to talk a little bit about the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion and the idea behind this.
Yeah, the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion was set up in 2013.
Yeah.
To address the issue of financial inclusion in the country. As you know, a large percentage at that when we started, it was only about around 85% of the people did not have access to financial services. So the Bank of Papua New Guinea and the Department of Planning and Monitoring decided that they should set up this institution called the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion. So this was registered, and one of the first activities the center did was to design what we call a financial inclusion strategy. And we have now come up with two strategies, one for 13-14, and then the other one was 16 to 20. And in that, we try to identify key priority areas for financial inclusion in Papua New Guinea. And insurance was identified as one of the things because there are a lot of people, insurance is an integral part of the financial service delivery in the country. And the current statistics say that it's only about 2% of the people have access to insurance services. So this inclusive insurance working group was set up with all the key stakeholders who are in the insurance industry. And one of the things that this working group has come up with is to design what we call an insurance awareness campaign. It's termed as Get Insured, Rest Assured. That's the theme of this particular campaign, and this was launched by the governor of the central bank, that's last week, and this will go on for 2 months, where every week we'll be releasing a promotional video to explain about the insurance on a Facebook page, which is dedicated for this.
All right, two things I want you to expand a bit more, Salia. Financial inclusion and insurance, two big words you've used here. For financial inclusion, of course, and that's the whole idea of this, isn't it? But what is it really?
Basically, financial inclusion means providing access to wide range of financial services for people. So that includes saving services, credit services, insurance, all that. So it's a wide range of. It's not just when you talk of financial inclusion, a lot of people think that it is just having a bank account. is financial inclusion. It is not, I think we always say it's a journey that starts with having a bank account, but then you have to start using it, and also to get credit, and also you can start your own business or improve your standard of living. So at the end of the day, we would like people to have a better standard of living using these services that are available in the country.
Yeah. But then to be included in the financial, to be included in this, well, of course, the financial inclusion, I suppose, in a way, and as you say, not just having a bank account, does it apply to people who actually already are regularly employed and having a regular salary, I suppose?
Yes, they actually, the SEFI has designed what we call a financial literacy program.
Yeah.
Because as you know, the people who even have a regular source of income doesn't manage their money well.
Yeah.
So these are integral component of the financial inclusion.
Yeah, maybe I'll just clarify myself again around that,
Sure.
Salia, is because I'm trying to bring the majority of the population of Papua New Guinea who might not be economically savvy, I suppose, or having a regular salary come in a way. So what would this mean, I suppose, financial inclusion to ordinary Papua New Guineans?
Basically, I think first we have to basically try to manage with whatever the money that they have, and also to use the tools like the banking services. Now, for example, the majority of the people in the country are in the informal sector.
Oh, absolutely.
Recently, there was a study done by the Community Development Department of Community Development,
Yes.
where they have identified 12 billion
Absolutely.
kina is being circulated in the informal sector.
There you go.
But unfortunately, the banking sector doesn't know this. And also, they have not built the relationship with the banking sector where they can get additional facilities and improve the business they are doing. So this is the whole thing. There is a huge missing link here. Where the people have their income sources in the informal sector, but unfortunately they do not manage it, and they do not build the relationship with the formal financial institutions, which can give them a helping hand to get into the next level of development, and at the end of the day to have a better standard of living.
Yeah. There you go. Salia Ranasinghe is the Executive Director of CEFI, the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion. Also on the panel is David Lee, Chairman of CEFI Inclusive Insurance Working Group. We'll come to David perhaps in a bit of insight as to what he does here on the other side of the short timer. But if you'd like to be part of our discussions, and financial inclusion and insurance are big topics we're talking about here, we're on 323-3777, 323-3999. You can also email us to live@fm100.com.pg.
You're listening to the Nesfun FM 100 Talkback Show.
And I'm glad
Welcome back to the Nesfun FM 100 Talkback Show. Supported by Bank South Pacific, NCSL, Telecom PNG, Medan Resort,
the informal sector, because I wanted to touch on that, because that's where but I know the survey that's been done, and if we're going to try to have them move from informal to formal, are we pulling them out of their comfort zone? Will they have to be paying tax? In a sense, they're probably happy where they are, but
that's 12 billion is cash, right? Yes, cash economy.
All right, we're going to
FM 100 Talkback Show.
All right, the National Inclusive Insurance Campaign and the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion implementing innovative approaches under the Papua New Guinea National Financial Inclusion Strategy 2016-2020. There was the earlier part, of course, 13 to 14.
Yeah.
There you go. To progress toward financial inclusivity and the best practices to create economic opportunities for all. This campaign actually goes on. Launched in October, is that right?
Yes.
Salia? And, we'll come to the campaign. There's priority areas, 7 priority areas identified to expand financial inclusion, as I gather. Digital financial services, inclusive insurance, financial literacy, and financial education. Access to informal economy and agriculture finance, the list goes on. But David Lee is also the chairman, CEFI Inclusive Insurance Working Group. And I suppose, David, with the working group, you're probably behind the scenes, I suppose. Tell me a little bit of what you do, really.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Douglas, and thanks again for having us on the show. So I've been involved with the working group for the last year or so as the chairman. I've been living and working in Papua New Guinea with my wife and family here for the last just over 3 years in the insurance industry. The working group itself is made up of various stakeholders from CEFI, from the UN, people like myself representing the insurance industry as well, and the regulators. So the whole idea behind the working group is it's one stream, work stream of that CEFI engage in. I think correct me if I'm wrong, about 6 altogether, of which the Inclusive Insurance Working Group is one. So the idea behind the working group is to promote the idea of insurance in Papua New Guinea, and I think the first step is education and awareness. It's not something, I think Celia, you mentioned 2% of the population insured, and most of them probably are insured through their employer, group, employer medical schemes, etc., etc. So it's important to before we can go any further, I think, to educate Papua New Guineans about insurance and the benefits of insurance, and how it can help protect you and your loved ones and protect the things that matter most in your life.
So why don't we get into it with insurance? I know we've already gone through financial inclusion, I suppose, but the insurance, the importance around this and how you can benefit from it. While David, you might want to start, and of course we'll talk to Sally. Huh?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Douglas. Yeah, look, I'm just speaking from my own personal observations, and Papua New Guinea is a big country. It's a diverse country, and it's a culture or a set of cultures that have been around for many thousands of years. And as Papua New Guineans, I guess we've always been able to rely on our extended family networks. We always talk about the one-top culture, and in a traditional setting where you hold a value as a culture where we share resources and we share risk. That one-top system we have is there that we can rely on when things get tough or things go wrong in our life, and there's a reciprocal obligation that we have as well. Where I see that partly breaking down a little bit is in a modern society, in a modern setting. It's different, and you've only got a relatively small proportion of Papua New Guineans in formal employment. So I see that, and look, I'm not Papua New Guinean, so maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I see that maybe the burden of those obligations fall on just a few people, disproportionately on a few people, and that gets too much for people. So where insurance can step in, is it can provide that financial security. So if you've got obligations, or if you've got something goes wrong, you can be financially vulnerable. If your car breaks down, or someone passes away in your family, you have obligations to meet, or you have things that you have to that impacts on your finances. So insurance is there to provide that capital you need, that support that you need to get back up on your feet, and to help you out when things happen. So you don't have to rely on extended family or other people to.
And sort of around ordinary citizens again, and why it's important, I suppose, to talk about insurance. And it would be something like they would think that you've got to have a lot of money, in fact, to insure, but it's not that, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, we only pay a small premium to cover that risk. And for example, recently I was at a house cry, where how it happens. You get into a room and then talk about how we are going to, because you wanted to give a very decent burial for your relative. Everybody is cracking their head and getting quite deep into your pockets. I was telling them there is an insurance scheme where you only pay 50 kina and you are insured for 5,000 for a year. So I think, with 50 kina, you can get insured for 5,000. If something happens, you're covered for 5,000. So such a
50 kina a fortnight.
No, 50 kina for the year.
For annual.
Annual, you are covered for 5,000 kina.
Okay.
So So, but the people, what we feel is, a lot of people, insurance is still considered to be a little bit of a foreign subject for a lot of people because of the one-top system that has been in existence in the country. What we really feel is, the nucleus families, the demand from the nucleus families are increasing in the society right now, with the modern society, and do only have very limited disposable income. So insurance is a very, very commercially viable way of mitigating the risk that you encounter. One of the things that we are going to show is we are showing a success story of an SME in one of the videos and that particular lady is saying, I have built this business with such a lot of hard work. My heart and soul is in this business. If something happens, if a fire comes, or if my building collapses, everything is gone. I have nothing. But if you have insurance, you go to them and they will pay you for all the losses that you have incurred. This is the beauty of insurance. You are taking all your burdens away with a small premium that you pay.
Okay. How can you get this awareness as opposed to people? Because as soon as you mention a 50 kina and you get a 5,000 kina that can help you with your funeral expense, I suppose, in that sense, that will actually get everybody's eyes popping, like, wow, I didn't even know that, how can I do this? And so through this campaign, that's exactly what you're doing. But how do you simplify that post to people and in the language, in the tone that they will fully understand what the gist of the matter is?
Yeah, because I think we basically are doing this as the first step in taking this to the public on the importance of insurance. So this campaign will run for 2 months, and after that we are now talking to the Department of Education to introduce financial education to schools. So in that we are trying to make insurance education as an integral component of financial education to the schools as well. So that at young age itself they will get to know what is this insurance, what is the benefit of this, and the future generation will be much more equipped of mitigating the risk that they have in their lives.
Yeah. In a society like PNG, they would say when we talk about awareness and how you're doing this, in fact, and I think it's an excellent drive putting it into schools. And so we, I don't know, economically wise, I suppose, when you go to spending. Papua New Guinea is more of a spending culture, you think, than actually a savings. Yeah. And so financial literacy, I suppose, in this sense, and with insurance, the conversation has to, I don't know, go the other way around, I suppose, to really garner the support from people to fully understand that this is the way to go, really. I mean, in insuring.
I think SEFI has been conducting financial literacy for a long period of time.
Yes.
The feedback that we receive from people who come for those are quite amazing. I will quote one of the things that I have heard from one of the participants was, where they said, after this training, I have started a new relationship with money. All this time I thought, the money controls me, but now I know that I control money. So I think these are very strong statements by ordinary people of Papua New Guineans. And another person said, you should have taught me these things when I was 20 years of age. Now I'm 45 or 47. My life would have been changed. So, SEFI has done, actually, this whole financial inclusion drive, why I'm saying this is, whole financial inclusion drive is a very, very composite strategy where we are talking of all these financial services, and we are extremely grateful that the central bank is behind it, and also to look at the SEFI board, we have three government departments who are represented at the board level. That is the Department of Planning, Department of Treasury, and the Department of Community Development. And we have the private sector represented by the commercial banks, the CEO of one of the commercial banks, the micro bank, one of the CEOs of micro banks, and also the savings and loan societies and the Institute of Bankers. So it's a very, very public-private partnership institution driving a very important agenda for PNG.
Yeah. Can we go to the awareness and how you actually are going to break it down, I suppose, in the next few months, yes?
Yeah.
You're doing this. Who are you going, who are you targeting, who are you speaking to, and how do you intend to carry out this awareness?
Yeah, I think it will be mainly we are looking at the social media where we will have a dedicated Facebook page. So every Monday we will be releasing a new video to explain about about insurance, and also to show successful case studies.
And this are portraying Papua New Guinea stories.
That's supporting how insurance have helped people in this country. And also in that we are giving all the information about the insurance companies in the country, so that if people wanted to get anything more, we are trying to they can write to that particular campaign page, and we are willing to give them the information that they want. In addition to that, we will be giving talkback shows in various radios. In addition to that, we are looking at publishing special articles during this period, at least one article per week on this, so that we will really make these 2 months as a awareness of insurance in Papua New Guinea.
David, feel free to come on,
Yes, sure.
and the working group behind this, of course, you're probably the ones who are actually on the forefront implementing this, aren't you?
So the working group. I mean, as Celia said, we're at the end of the current 5 years strategic period. So
Okay.
we'll be implementing a new strategy going forward. But yes, the working group is involved. I'm there in my capacity as a representative of the Insurance Council. So there's 15 licensed general insurers in Papua New Guinea. And it's in everybody's interest, I think, that we get that message about insurance out there. So as a chairman of the working group, I'm quite passionate about the role that insurance can play in people's lives. The reality for many people is that life is hard, and we want to get ahead. We want to create opportunities for ourselves and for our family and for our children. But we worry about what might happen because unexpected things happen all the time, and we don't have control over a lot of those things that happen. And that's where insurance plays a part. And I'm not sure that people have a general awareness of what kind of insurance products are out there, and how insurance, if you pay a small amount of premium now into a much bigger pool of premium, how that can be there for you if something goes wrong.
That's probably exactly where I'm getting at now with the understanding of Papua New Guineans about insurance.
Yes.
Yeah. And a fair bit, I suppose, needs to be done.
I agree, and I think the insurance industry itself has to take some of the responsibility for that.
Okay.
The insurance industry in Papua New Guinea has been here for a long time. I think QBE is one of the big insurance companies people might have heard of. They've been in PNG since 1895. What I would say is that most of the insurance products and services that are available are tailored towards corporations and businesses, and maybe the wealthy few relatively wealthy few that can afford them. What the challenge for the industry in this modern era is actually to create products and services that are accessible and are affordable, and that meet the needs of ordinary Papua New Guineans. We've got 2% of the population insured. I think that leaves 98% of people vulnerable to misfortune, financially vulnerable. So I think that the challenge for the industry on the back of this campaign is to get the message out there and actually to start to create products that Papua New Guineans can access. People are doing it. There are insurers out there. The 50 Kina house cry product that you mentioned, Celia, is great. I mean, obviously the insured doesn't benefit from that. That's about their loved ones, easing the burden for their loved ones if they pass on. But there's other things that we can do as an industry.
Yeah, we could probably try putting up a bright price insurance. We'll see how that goes. We'll go for a quick commercial break, but can I relate this again to, as David mentioned, the majority of the population and the informal sector, I suppose, with insurance. SM has gone off in a big way here in the country, but how does this, and whether it matters, I suppose, We'll be back in a moment, but we're on 323-3777, 323-3999. Also, emails are available. You can shoot us a mail to live@fm100.com.pg.
You're listening to the Nesfun FM 100 Talkback show.
NCSL belongs to you say that, like 50 kina for a year.
Through all life's moments,
And you can take 5,000.
What other length
something
do you have?
like that. Just as an example. Yeah. I mean, just as an example. And you see how it instantly had an effect.
Yeah.
And you imagine, oh, the governor. Ah, there you are. Okay.
So I'll take him in.
Yeah, come bring him in. I'm going to come
He's
in.
waiting for his coffee, so.
Oh.
How long is that?
We've got about 30 seconds. Well, that's exactly what the first question.
No, you don't, but anyone can get insurance, but you have to know how to get insurance.
Companies also, they use different technical jargon, so people get confused. So we have to make it very simple.
Exactly what I was saying, like the language and the tone, how you actually simplify down to the people, you know, because we think what she's saying, you got to be employed, you know, to be... Yeah, there you go, Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion and implementing these awareness around, of course, financial inclusion itself and insurance. Two big words. And again, David, thanks for that. Sally, thanks for also explaining a few things around this. I'm trying to relate this around insurance to the informal sector. And I go back again to my earlier point. We feel, or we think, well, for Papua New Guineans, we think that to be insured, you got to be employed. You have to have a regular salary coming in, as opposed to, but do you have to be employed?
You don't have to be employed. You can purchase insurance products without being employed. I think the issue is for the informal sector is in relation to insurance is how does the insurance industry deliver those products to people? You know, out of 8 or 9 million people, most people live. Many people live in remote areas, or you know, not necessarily don't have access to these insurers, or don't even know about them, or what products are out there, or how to access them. So, so I think you can go to an insurer. There's 15 insurance companies. You can contact them and you can ask them about their products and services and how to purchase them. But I think for a product like that is a small product, it's a small premium. It meets a need for an individual person. We've got to find ways to deliver those, maybe through digital means and smarter means, because I think if you look at the take-up of internet connectivity and smartphones, etc., in Papua New Guinea, even in remote areas, it's quite a rapid change. Just in the 3 years I've been here, I've noticed that. So we've got to find a way as an industry to provide access, to provide digital channels or other means to make it more accessible for people. Because while it's true what Sally is saying, you can go to an insurance company and purchase a product now. It's not easy. You've got to know how to navigate that, and so I think what we'll see in the next few years is a bit of a revolution, a bit of a transformation in how we think about insurance for ordinary Papua New Guineans in the informal sector. If I could just add on to that, we have tried. There was some of the listeners may recall Beamer. There was a product there that was available through Digicel, and that was, I would say, that was only partially successful, because although at one point in time there were hundreds of thousands of Papua New Guineans insured through that product, I don't think a good job was done about actually letting people know what they were purchasing, what they were getting into.
Exactly.
And you had people believing actually that it was a savings scheme, and so when the whole thing ended, people were asking, how do I get my money back out of Beamer? And that's not what insurance is about. It's about peace of mind. It's about if something happens, it's there for you. So I think this, going back to the education, the awareness, I think that's a critical piece, so people are aware of what the products are, how to access them, and how they can benefit them.
Yeah, I think the understanding of insurance, and then you brought sort of a slight comparison between insurance and savings.
Mm-hmm.
Two different things, aren't they?
They are. So you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sally, you want to jump in?
No, basically these are two different concepts altogether.
Yeah.
But you know, there are now new products that are emerging,
Yeah.
where you have savings and insurance linked
Uh-huh.
as well. You know, I think one of the insurance providers in the country now have what we call endowment insurance, where you can agree on a saving scheme for a period of 10 years or so, where you will save regularly. But if something happens to you in between, they are assured of that savings that you have agreed to save. So I think there are new products that are emerging. You know, one of the things, as David indicated, how we see this whole industry emerging is, number one, we feel that the insurance industry should be looking at innovative ways of designing new products for the needs of the people. And also we should look at new delivery channels, you know, how we can reach the majority of the Papua New Guineans as well. And the final one is that, you know, I think, you know, the claim process, you know, if something happens,
Yes.
they should be able to get that claim immediately, you know.
Yes.
You know, if something, you know, for
Not 3
example,
months later.
yeah, not 3 months later, you know. So I think these are things that we would like to see. And so that's what we are trying to do, you know. This is, as I mentioned to you before, this is the start.
The
that
start
we are
of the
trying to do
awareness.
it, and we would really like to work with the media on getting this to the next level as well.
No worries, because I'm excited about this, but I'm more about the awareness where you are now, and how you can simplify it, because a lot of these with products that they come on the insurance and so forth, a lot of this jargon is more very technical,
Yeah.
and then so people actually, you know, shy away from trying to find out a bit more about it. And so I suppose that you know, you're going to be simplifying this, I suppose, in a way, during your campaigns. Now, for instance, okay, I'll just go to Rafael, who's actually emailed us now. Rafael says he's listening and would like to be in touch or to get the context of you fellas. Now, how do we do this?
You can
okay.
contact the SEFI office. You know, we are located at the Credit Corp building, ground floor, at downtown.
Okay.
And they can call us on 323.
Yeah, the number's going.
Yeah.
You go.
And
You go.
yeah.
All right. But SEFI, corporate,
Yeah,
Credit Corp
building downtown on the
All right.
ground floor.
On the ground floor. All right. So, Rafael, if you're listening, ground floor, Credit Corporate Building, downtown. Go there, and of course, it shouldn't be hard to find. Right?
Yeah, it's quite easy to find.
Okay.
It's a
All right.
prominent.
This is the beginning of the awareness. This has actually been carried out. SEP is doing an excellent job now, and so we now come to know that you don't necessarily have to be employed to take up insurance, but insurance. You insure you insure your car, you insure yourself medically or whatever, you know, what have you. But the benefits of this is overwhelming, really. I mean, I'm looking at the funeral expenses there, and something that we go in tough times like this, you know, it really matters most, I suppose, for Papua New Guineans, you know, because we've got to be digging deeper into our pockets. But if you've got each and everyone, of course, who had themselves insured 50 kina, and they brought the 5,000 kina rate, we're able to knock off the house cry in a week.
Yeah.
I mean, how great is that? You know? Let's go for a quick commercial break. I'll be back in a moment.
The Less Fun FM 100 Talkback Show.
Is he coming? No.
He's
Yeah.
here.
And
I think you may need to reposition as well, a little bit.
Would you like me to move it?
Hey, how are you?
Where would you like your camera?
There you go. Take it.
I'm really enjoying touring through this because I'm getting good programs, but I
Okay,
don't.
so-
But you place the
If
camera,
you'd like, I can just move it there.
place the camera, and then I'll.
And
stick
Governor,
mine
you've joined us like when we're about to wrap up. But good, you can put the icing on the cake for us.
Oh, this is all right.
Yeah, you can.
on. Maybe a little.
David.
We get.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. I'm just ringing up to.
Should be okay.
I know you're on break now, but if you can just just raise a concern. I just want to hear about family insurance with the...
Okay, listen, my good brother. You want to call back or I can hold you? I mean, we're going to go to air in about 10 seconds. You want to hold on? Yes, sir?
Okay, maybe I can do it.
Okay, sure. I'm going to come to you now. Stand by. All right.
He must be
And of course, insurance, the financial inclusion, we get this awareness kicking off with the Bank of PNG and a Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion. Gentlemen, I've got a call online. Yes, good morning. Hello there.
Good morning, Douglas.
Sorry, your name, please.
I'm Paul here.
In Port Moresby. Thanks, Paul.
Douglas, I just wanted to ask the panel on the family insurance with our employers. They provide us forms to fill in to insure our family. But I just want to know what's the maximum number of families or friends to be included in the insurance.
Okay. Yeah, Paul. Sorry. Yeah, thanks, Paul, isn't it? Yeah. There you go. David, Kerry, if you can answer that. Yeah.
Thanks, Douglas. Hi, Paul. David here. Look, the maximum number of children or that can be insured under a family medical plan, probably depends on the insurer. I work for Capital Insurance Group. I don't want to really promote my company, but yeah, and there's a number of different insurers that provide that. So it would depend on the plan that you're on, but it should be up to 5, 6 at least, and then beyond that, some insurers might charge an extra premium for additional children. So I hope that answers your question.
The parents too.
Yeah,
something for the parents. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are certain product options where, and the thing is, these are mostly employer schemes. You can, as an individual, actually come to the insurer and take out a plan yourself if your employer doesn't provide that. But you can also include parents. So there are certain insurers offer that as an option as well, as long as the parent is under 65.
One more query on the insurance, the contributions that go to the company, and also informing in the case of medical cover. I went to one of my medical cover provider, and I was asked whether I contribute to the insurance medical cover services, and my name was not there. So I was thinking, what happened to they may have not provided my details to the service provider. So that's the query that I'm having.
Okay. But my advice to you, sir, would be to go to your employer, find out. And let them know that issue is there. They can liaise with your insurance provider, your insurer, and they can make sure that your details are updated. Yes, that's important because what it sounds to me like is that they have the insurer has a services arrangement with a clinic or a hospital, and that you should be able to go there and access that without having to pay for it and then having to make a claim later. That's one of the services that one or two of the insurance providers provide, and that obviously means you don't have to wait to be reimbursed. So that creates a financial issue for you because you've got to pay up, and you don't know when you're going to get refunded. So it's important if you can go back to your employer and ask them to make sure that your details are there.
David, I have 2 more questions. One is just for wider awareness. I mean, it would be better if the insurance companies would come around to the departments and do more awareness so that the people or the staff within the departments would really know what to do. I think some of us are not really clear on how it works, how the insurance works. So that's one of those that I think is should be what should be. Sorry, excuse me for that noise.
All right.
So
Thank you.
Okay.
I agree with that. Yeah, totally agree.
One other thing that the second one that I wanted to ask was regarding the cover that provides. I am insured in the case of funeral expenses or death expenses for my family. I am covered, and I hear that well, my wife is also covered, but not the children. Can you just explain a little bit on that, please?
Well, I don't have the specific details of your policy, but if you're on a family plan or a medical plan, there's usually a funeral expenses benefit included. It's usually only quite a small amount, maybe up to 3,000 or 5,000 kina for yourself as the employee and your spouse. There's usually a child's funeral benefit as well, and that's usually only around about 1,000 or 2,000 kina. But you should,
Thank you very much for that information. Thank you. I appreciate the panel. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Paul, isn't it? Yeah, thanks, Paul. Appreciate the call. Gentlemen, and I also would like to acknowledge the governor of the Bank of PNG, Lloyd Bakani, in the studio as well.
Hi, Douglas.
How are you?
Hi, listeners.
There you go. Nam, oibe, nam.
Now,
There you go. Thanks for joining us. All right, I've got a few pointers here, and from emails. John Barry has actually emailed us. John says, good morning, panel. Financial inclusion and insurance. What? I'll just read it as it is and see if we can answer that here. What is your target area? 90% of the population is in a rural setting and settlements and informal sector. What do you do with the insurance premiums on a daily, monthly, and yearly basis, apart from paying medical costs for members? Where do you park the monies? I mean, that's a very broad question, but if you can answer it, and what are the products that ordinary citizens can benefit from? But maybe for the awareness part, 90% of the population is in rural areas. Are we going that far? If Sally, you might want to take that on in terms of the awareness.
This, as I indicated, this is the first step in raising awareness, and also we are going to talk about the provincial radio stations to get this message to the provinces as well. And also, in addition to that, with the support of Bank of Papua New Guinea, we are organizing what we call financial expositions in the provinces, where we get all the governance with governance advice. All the financial institutions will go to those provinces and have their own stalls in this exposition. And insurance is going to be one of the areas that we are going to cover. So there will be special booths allocated for insurance companies where they will do insurance awareness at the same time during the financial exposition. So we are trying to reach everybody in the country, but at the moment we wanted to concentrate at least in the urban centers, where the people who are in the urban centers can take the message. But we'll use these other avenues that are available to take the message to them. I think Governor can.
We'll come. Sorry, Governor, we'll come to. We'll just quickly take the time call at 11. But Salia Ranasinghe is the Executive Director of CEFI. Governor of the Bakan is also in the studio. David Lee is the Chairman, CEFI Inclusive Insurance Working Group. We'd like to take your calls on 323-3777 or 323-3999. You can also email us to live@fm100.com.pg.
You're listening to the Nesfun FM 100 Talkback
Can I
show.
ask one question?
Flame Sugar Time Call. The time is 11 a.m. Almost lunchtime.
Facebook.com/GetInsuredPNG.
Yeah, get it good.
I'm Reese Martin, Captain of the PNG LG Course 2019. You're listening to FM 100. For more information,
So if you go to your Facebook and search Get Insured PNG, it'll lead you to
FM 100. Welcome back to the next one, FM 100 Talkback Show. Supported by Bank South Pacific, NCSL, Telecom PNG, Madrid Resort, and Happy Village.
That's in about a week.
Okay, and, well, you can hear in the background my panel is very excited. They're going on before the microphones are actually turned on. Gentlemen, I've got another call. Can we take this other call? Nesfun FM 100 Talkback. Hello there. No, we've lost it, haven't we? Oh, sorry about that. No, we've lost it. But 323-3777, 323-3999 are the numbers to call again. Please call. I might be, and there might be a question I'm not asking that you'd like to ask the panel. So they'll be happy to take it on. Chief, thanks for joining us. Mr. Bakani, you wanted To, of course, add on to what Sally was saying, yes?
Yeah. Just to add on that, in terms of part of this program of awareness, we want to do it in a very extensive way. Engagement with the broadcasting, the radios,
Through
all
the
the
media.
different media, all the different modes of media, to enhance this, and because we want to target, see if we can aim to reach 1.0 million people insured. So it's very low at the moment. It's from the launch or from the earlier speakers, they've said that 2%. It's very, very low compared to 8 to 10 million population. So it's a big task, and I think we want to achieve it, and we can do it just like any other thing in terms of when we wanted to get people having bank accounts. We targeted that and we achieved it. So it's part of this financial inclusion drive that we are aiming for.
All right, and you're going to be doing this for a few months, yes, as I gather. When do you know, when would you know that you probably have hit the target you wanted to target?
Well,
and how would you know that?
If we will work through the industry players, David and the team and all the other that similar to capital insurance, and they're the one who will work with us. We're going to be taking it, and they will. And there's another thing that in the forecast now that we've been trying to do is been pushing for the general insurance to come also under the Bank of Papua New Guinea. At the moment, the industry general insurance is under the Treasury Department, and they're not, frankly saying, they're not getting the kind of service that the industry wants, industry needs. So the industry is looking forward to getting the general insurance come under the central bank, and I think that's on the plate now. It's part of our financial sector development strategy, which is approved by government, that general insurance moves to Bank of Papua New Guinea also, together with life. Life, we already got it, but we look forward to get the general insurance over us.
How different will that be when it comes under your belt?
Oh my God, and that's going to be another headache for me. But hey, look, it's easy for me now. And then you can almost say Bank of Papua New Guinea as a what do you call it, the sole regulator, one regulator for all the financial services sector.
Well, there you go. So it's a one-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
If I could just add one small comment as a insurer and actually our company, actually we have got two companies in Papua New Guinea. We have a general company and a life company. So we're regulated by PNG and the Insurance Commissioner. The reason why regulation is so important for from a customer, from a average person on the streets point of view, is because the regulator makes sure that we are doing the right things, and make sure that we are managing our business prudently and properly, that we have adequate processes, procedures, and capital and finances in place, so that when tamo gat heavy now or you plow get a needing mipla, then we are there for you, and we are and we help you. So that's one of the issues that will be addressed, I think, with what Mr. Bakani is talking about, because we'll have a strong regulator that will make sure that the insurance companies, and there's 15 general insurance companies in Papua New Guinea, are doing the right things for their customers.
How about David Spurgeon there? Excellent.
Average 5 out of 10.
Thank you. And I think JB's other point here, John Barry, you've addressed it, of course, and thank you, Governor, for expanding a bit more. The idea around the insurance premiums on a daily, monthly, this is more technical, I suppose, and you might want to take this one, David. What do you do with insurance premiums on a daily, monthly, or yearly basis, apart from paying medical costs for members?
Sure. I'll answer that
How's this
question.
managed, I suppose? I think that's probably where he's getting at.
Yep, good question. So, apart from the obvious one, which is we use it to pay claims, there's also other expenses that are involved in running an insurance company. So, so we have to manage our own overheads and expenses. Our company, for example, has 70 staff in Papua New Guinea, and so we have all of those expenses. We actually a lot of insurance in PNG, like a lot of other countries, is actually placed with by the broker. So you might pay the broker 100 kina. The broker takes a commission. So there's a commission that we pay to the broker, and then we pay our own overheads and expenses. We have to purchase reinsurance. I won't go into detail about that, but we pay. Reinsurance is like insurance for insurance companies. So we pay a portion of the premium we receive to a reinsurance company, so that they provide extra capital for us as well to. If, for example, there was a large-scale event or a large disaster. So there's a lot of different costs that go into running an insurance company. The biggest one is paying claims, followed by your own overheads for your building, your premises, your staff, your reinsurance. And then if there's any money left over, we can invest that money as well. So but we generate our income from premiums, and we use that to run our business as efficiently as possible, so that we can deliver us the best value we can. So we don't want to be inefficient in the way that we run our business, because then that means there's less left in the pot to pay claims. So that leads to less value for customers.
Yeah. Thank you, Stuart David. Natasha Guys has emailed us as well. Tash, morning to you. Thanks for emailing. As I just listened to the show, would like to know who the 15 insurance providers are. I think you made, somebody made reference to 15, yes?
We'll provide a list in the media.
It's on the video.
Why don't you mention, you could mention the Facebook page? Yeah. So you can find out if you go
all
to
right.
the Facebook
We're
page.
coming to that, Natasha. They're discussing as who takes this question. There you go. All right. Who the 15 insurance providers are? There isn't much on the SEFI website. Whoa, okay. And I totally agree with including finance as a subject in schools. It is long overdue. Excellent point there. Now, find the 15 insurance providers. Okay. And here, as to who's going to answer this. We've got an address. You can check this out. It's again a one-stop shop. You can go and you'll hit this, and of course you'll find out where they are. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, basically, I think we have a dedicated Facebook page, which is called Get Insured PNG. So please like that particular page, and there will be videos uploaded. At the end of each video, you will have the names and contact details of all the 15 insurance service providers.
Okay.
And also, if you want any other specific details, you can send us a message, and we will be. Actually, there's a dedicated team who will be answering those queries to the people who have any questions on insurance as well.
Yeah. Right now, of course, don't put us on a spot because we've forgotten the numbers to call, right? But you can find. But the Facebook page, there you go. Just repeat that again.
Get Insured PNG.
Get Insured PNG. There you go. All right. So like the page, of course, and you'll get more details.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And it will also for Tash, you'll probably find where the other 15.
Oh yes. They'll appear at the end of the videos.
The videos, yes. There you go.
But what will also Douglas will and Tash will also continue to publish that, just like any we publish on a monthly or frequent basis on the license financial service providers. So insurance now will be part of that.
BPNG website.
Okay.
On the BPNG website.
Excellent. I like this line, get insured, rest assured. There you go. Just get insured now. The rest of it is, of course, assured. Makes sense. Governor, can we probably take it from you in the concluding remarks?
Yes.
Where Natasha actually says the idea of including this in school curriculums is an excellent way to go, starting at a very early age.
Exactly. I think we're getting a step forward more now. We're going to be signing something up with the education department to have in the school curriculum financial education. We've been striving for it. We could not get through to the education department for whatever reasons, but we went sideways and went to the provinces. We signed up 10 provinces to have financial inclusion in the provinces, doing that. And finally now, and with the current government, the Prime Minister is very much support of it, that now they've agreed that we will sign a MOU with the Education Department, and then they will include financial education as part of the, included in the school curriculum for primary and high schools. So it's good, yeah. So that's going to be, and it will now, with the insurance now, will be part of that education, financial education.
Okay.
So it's a step forward. The idea is, you have to get these young people, generation educated at a very early age. There is no end to education. That's the bottom line. And like what the logo of what the current government is saying, no one to be left behind.
Yes.
Yeah. So everyone should be, as long as you get them educated financially, they can run their own affairs after if they leave schools. So that's the whole idea. So I think it's a positive one. That will answer a lot of questions about in the future about our the financial literacy of people. Just like insurance, most I mentioned in the loans last week. One of the things that most people don't know about insurance is because we're illiterate in terms of insurance. So this is the uptake of insurance is very small, 2%. So we have to do a lot more of. Now, let me, if I may, Douglas and the listeners, add on to the final point is that do we, just like superannuation, do we make insurance compulsory?
Or should we make it compulsory?
Compulsory, yeah. Because, the one-talk system that we all embedded with is going to be, slowly, it's still there in our hearts. But it's going to be, dependency and its reliability is questionable now.
Yeah. And you will like the one-talk system when it works well for you, and when it doesn't.
Then you're upset man, man. So, there we go. So, do we make it compulsory? We're in discussion. We're going to be discussing with superannuation funds to see whether there is an option. There is a way there that when they contribute superannuation for the workers especially, then part of that goes to insurance.
Insurance, a little portion of it.
Little portion of the contribution. So if it means amendment to the act, let it be. We'll follow. Go the path. But what about the rest? It doesn't answer the rest of those people working out there, the subsistence farmers and all that. So that's another product that we can look at. Not necessarily make it compulsory, but it can be voluntary. But as long as they know about it. So we're going to be working with the insurance industry. That's why I come back again. And look, we're driving.
Sorry, Governor, can I take this call before we lose it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Please.
And NAS1 FM 100 Talkback. Hello there.
Good day, it's Michael from Kunai.
How are you, Michael? It's been a while. It's been a while. Thanks for calling, though.
All right. Okay. But I have only one question to the governor and, of course, the panel there. In devolving that I'm referring to. I know there is an insurance company where the other two are representing, but to develop a product in life itself, just wondering if they are looking at streaming their products to civil registry. How are their relations like?
Civil registry. Could you explain a bit more, maybe give us a bit more thought around that, so we probably the panel will be able to answer.
That at times of there are people queuing up. So
Okay.
civil registry is the will that I am referring to.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I can try.
David, okay, well, David's going to crack on this one for you, Michael. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'll listen off it. Okay.
All right, sure. He'll be listening off here. Okay. All right, so maybe while let's take a commercial break.
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
a little
no
bit
worries.
overdue with this. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is the Nespan FM 100 Talkback Show.
I think what he's asking is about the beneficiaries, right?
Oh, the beneficial in the case of death.
They wait for the death certificate to come. It takes a long time. So they actually what they are trying to ask is when they register the death.
Yeah.
There's a link where you can have.
Oh, is that what he was asking?
Yeah, I think that's what they
I thought he
are.
was asking
You
about.
could answer it that way, or I see where David's coming from.
Yeah, I thought he was asking about someone passes away and there's a life insurance.
Unlock your fixed broadband connectivity today.
Purchase the Telecom fixed broadband for 179 kina only.
Good shape for long-lasting connection.
It's
Get
like
strong
that,
signal strength and
Package, free voice
That's the way
headset and
I
free
look
fixed
at it.
line
But
connection.
how do we-
To your nearest telecom business office located nationwide. Call customer care on 345-6789. Check out our website at www.telecompng.com.pg or reach out to us on Facebook.
Correct. But sometimes the beneficiary is not nominated.
You're listening to the Nespan FM
Again,
100
we're
Talkback Show.
supposed to send it to the, has to be paid to them. Okay.
All right, welcome back again. Michael, thanks for calling. It's been a while hearing from Michael from Konai Street here in Gordon's. David, you want to crack on this? I think that we're sort of sensing there might be two parts to this in a way. But yeah, David, you want to take this one off?
I'll start off. Michael, David here. I hopefully I've interpreted your question correctly, but I think the way I did interpret it was that when someone passes away and they have a life insurance policy, how do we allocate the benefits? How do we pay the benefits? So correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I'm going to answer the question. So when you take out life insurance, there's a form that you need to fill out and you nominate your beneficiaries like you would with your NAS fund or number one, your super, you nominate your beneficiaries. And you can split it up. They have to be people that are directly related to you because remember, insurance is about protecting people financially if something bad happens. So if you're the breadwinner, you have a life insurance policy, your family, maybe your extended family are relying on your income, you pass away, that affects your immediate, right? So life insurance is there that go to the people who need it. So you nominate those beneficiaries, and the life insurance company will pay the funds directly to those beneficiaries. That's important because if you don't nominate a beneficiary, it has to be by law. The benefit has to be paid to the clerk of works or registrar, and then it has to go through a whole process to release those funds, which can take a long time. That's how question. If the question was slightly different, please let me know.
Yeah, you can call back again, Michael. But Sally, you also had a different interpretation of it. You want to just explain, which is a good point too, really.
Yeah, I think the whole issue about life insurance is at the time of death, that has to be issued by the civil registry, which will trigger the whole process of the claim. So I think this is what I think. The way that I interpreted was that the question was trying to see whether the insurance company and the civil registry can have a link where they will get to know without you obtaining the certificate and coming. But I don't think it is feasible right now. But I don't know in future with this digital technology taking place and the civil registry also will get into digital space. These type of things will be possible in future, but not right now.
Yeah, excellent point there. Thanks. I don't know, Michael, if that's the right interpretation of your question there, but thanks anyway. Direction you said to David as well, that if you don't get it sorted out, you could probably end up with public curator or something.
Public curator.
That's going to take a lengthier process, isn't it?
Take years.
There you go. All right, we're going to wrap up here quickly, but we'll come to the governor. He was on his way through, of course, and Michael's call came through. But Governor, Aki of Medang has emailed. He says, thanks guys. Can I have some brochures on the insurance? For there you go, brochures and information. Sally, you're very good at giving out the Facebook address that they can. Yes, you want to do that?
They can do that, and also, in that Facebook page, there are all the email addresses of the companies. You can write to them, and they will definitely send you the brochures of all their insurance products.
There you go. But the awareness has just started, and it's going to be going out. They'll try as much as possible get down to the provinces as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Douglas, we for listeners, end of this month, we're having the first one and the only one for this year in Kevin. So that now will include insurance, both life and general. We will bring some of the service, the industry players over there. Set up kiosk and tents over there, so that he can start to sell out. So in response to the products, different insurance companies have different products, but that information will be available in through these different sites, and especially when we go out to the provinces. But so Kevin will be end of this month. We will include definitely 27, 28th of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
over in Kavieng, in a particular place in Kavieng?
No, right in
Kavieng town.
yeah.
Okay. 27 and
28.
28
of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. And just one or two more words around inclusivity around this. In fact, whether it should be compulsory. That's an important one, and I'm touched by that. Whether it should be compulsory. Because I'm already counting on my days, and I'm going to look for my retirement now, and I'm like, hang on, we should probably have this on as well. What do you think, Governor?
Well, no, definitely, Douglas. I agree with that, because, all of us should be thinking about that, look, we can't rely solely on one-top system, it's the shortcomings of it, I mentioned already, unreliability. You cannot depend on one person only from the family to, to support everyone else. Like in nowadays, when you work in town, you are the breadwinner for everyone in the village.
Oh, yeah.
So they expect you to feed everyone.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to have their own way of self insurance, and that's why I'm talking about the shortcomings of one-top system. So that's why we want to bring insurance into play, the modern products of insurance. The point is, how do we do it? So we're starting the awareness now, and then slowly we will get the insurance players or the industry to come and sell, do their own awareness, sell their own products, and get people. Now the question of whether it be called compulsory is an issue, whether we trigger that through regulation or legislation, as I mentioned, just like superannuation, but that's superannuation is for workers only. We've gone out of superannuation now. Thank you, Nesfan, for hosting this.
Yes.
I know the CEO must be listening.
Yeah, of course.
But it's important that whether we can include that in the superannuation legislation, or we create another space of legislation to say compulsory. But it's only for workers. We've gone out and with the superannuation industry players, and now we already have voluntary superannuation, which is a great product. So taxi driver now can take up superannuation. Likewise, Douglas, we worry about our lives as we get old.
Yes.
We should be also, taking up insurance.
No, I'm excited about this insurance bit again on top of my savings. There you go. And so, you'll be the best friend of all my best friends, if you get this through, really. Whether it be legislation or changes, make this happen in a way.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, thank you so much. Appreciate the time. I think this, gives you more reason to actually carry out this awareness from the calls and the emails that have come through. Appreciate. Mr. Lloyd Bakhani is the governor of the Bank of PNG. He also dons the hat as the chairman, the board of CEFI. There you go. Salia Ranasinghe is the executive director of CEFI. David Lee, chairman, CEFI Inclusive Insurance Working Group. There you go. Kavieng, the awareness gets to you on the 27th and the 28th.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Douglas.
you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Douglas.
Douglas.
All right, we're back on the other side of these messages with more.
The Nest Fund